for us, just, our willingness, I think, to go into the game just knowing that, based on the numbers with St. John's, the 3-point shooting percentage for them and the amount of points they get from three, which are, somewhere in the 300s. Just that first half of shooting for them, making 8 threes, just gave them that cushion. Obviously for us, you play against this team with that defense and that rebounding, and with those type of wings and edge of four and the pressure they can put on the paint. If they shoot the ball like that from the perimeter, they're going to be a problem for anyone. So, credit them. They shot it great in the first half. We were able to get that cushion, and obviously we didn't play very well.
Good start things right here.
Were you content to let them try to beat you from three? I mean, not content.
Look at the numbers. The numbers are, you play the numbers, and it's not a situation here where it's like, Kadari Richmond is like devastating at the paint. Luis, is devastating at the paint. Edge of four, is a beast down there. Devion Smith is he's so fast off the dribble. He's like an American ninja. Like these guys, you gotta pick your poison, Scott. It's a dangerous proposition, but you play the numbers, and you can't take. For us this year with our defense, like we can't take everything away. We've got to pick something that we want to try to take away. They stepped up and made them. They haven't, shot like that a lot, but credit them. They stepped up and made them.
Yeah, with Kadari, have you ever seen a guy kind of control and dominate the mid-range the way he does? And I guess if you had to go for Big East Player of the Year right now, is he the guy?
Yeah, they got two, and then they got, it feels like 3 first-teamers and 2 guys that are, getting each other's way to get the award. Maybe like Tristan did last year, where their team is so good that maybe one of them doesn't get it, him or Richmond. But Richmond's like fully mature player now. He's in his 5th year. Plus he prepped at Brewster. He's a grown man out there, and they're getting the most out of him in a year that is make or break for him to make a move to get to the NBA. And he's just, his maturity level is a lot. It's changed a lot. He's a much different type of man on the court.
Right here, then right here.
Dan, you've seen this team defensively twice now. How good is St. John's defense?
Yeah, I just think, the pressure is one thing. Obviously it's disconcerting to start your possession, just surviving to get the ball in bounds versus the pressure. But then I don't even think it's the full court pressure with them. I just think it's the positionless switching that they're able to do, on ball, off ball, the veer switching, and then like what makes it obviously work is just having all these like big wings that are grown men physiques. These guys are physical, and then edge of four. Edge of four gets out to guards, and it's hard to take advantage of that because he's like, his movement and his ability to stay on the ball. They remind me of Houston with just what they do to you defensively and on the glass. Again, I'm stunned, that we were able to out-rebound them again. But I guess that's because they missed less at the offensive end. But we made up for out-rebounding them by turning the ball over 18 times.
Dan, you play a pretty challenging non-conference schedule, and the Big East is the Big East. Have you faced a team that's harder to beat than this one?
I think from a defensive standpoint, they're clearly better than. They're elite. They've got a championship level defense. I think they have championship level offensive rebounding. And obviously, how their season goes from here is going to, in large part, come down to being able to make enough shots. So, that's hard for me to project what they're going to be able to do. They've had a dominant Big East regular season. They had a pretty good non-conference run there, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to prepare for their physicality and their defense. If you have a defense like that, it's tough to beat.
You're in the back. You talked about the first half, and at the start of the second half, you cut their lead to 9. Do you think we've kind of stemmed the tide and we're getting ready to go on a run there?
I mean, we had a shot. I mean, that's where it's kind of been like. Obviously, our quality is way off from where it's been, and for a variety of reasons. But there was an opportunity there. We ran a pitch with a back screen, and we had Caribbean open underneath the basket to cut it to 7, and the pass was a little bit off, and he didn't gather it. We turned it over. That was a chance to cut it to 7. And to put some significant game pressure on them. Cutting it to 9, we put some game pressure on them, but being able to finish that play, cutting it to 7, who knows? But we got too many flaws.
Joe, right here.
And Alex obviously had a rough first half, but it seemed like his mentality changed in the second. I guess where did you see a mindset change, and how can you support him, I guess, going forward to get back in the swing?
Yeah, I mean, he's going through it. I mean, it's this is what he came back to school for, to experience being the face of something and having to handle that type of responsibility and pressure, and it's part of his development. Obviously, first game, first half, he was struggling. A little bit, just kind of catching the ball around the basket where he had opportunities to catch and finish. But it was good to see him, the way he finished the game, and obviously going into these last 4 Big East games in the regular season, hopefully we get him going. But just with the offensive game that Liam, Solo, AK were having through the first 30 minutes. That this team can't overcome that. It's not deep enough, and it's just overall. Obviously, we don't go deep enough with the quality to survive 30 minutes of that.
Right here.
Dan, with those 4 games left, where do you see upside, things that you can fix, that you can get better between now and when you come back there?
Yeah, unlike our past teams where there was literally no bad matchups for us, there are some teams that just are not great for you. I mean, teams that pressure and full court and get after you, and we have the obvious issue with people that can handle and create and break down pressure. I just think that there's some teams some teams for us this year with this team, or maybe not great matchups. I'm not saying that the next 4 are all great matchups, but this was the first time really since Maui, the last 5 minutes of the Dayton game where the wheels came off. For this year, it's most of our losses have just been excruciating losses. So this was the first time that a game had kind of gotten away from us, and a lot of that had to do with the way they shot the ball in the first half, and then just what that defense is like to deal with. It's not fun.
Thanks, guys.